Welcome back to Low Buck Builds. In this video, we're going to wrap up the electrical on our $1,000 Jeep project. So far, we spent $500 on the Jeep, $10 on the tires, $50 on electrical, and now $12 on the fuel pump. And we have $448 remaining in our budget. So let's get going. Alright, let's assemble this new pump and we're going to test it before we do anything else. We're going to do one before the pump and one after the pump. These are just little fuel filters that were dirt cheap. Once we get the system cleaned out, we'll put a good fuel filter on here. Eventually we'll have to go up and get more line, fuel line. But this will be enough to at least test it. It should take the time to go find a socket for this, but I'm not going to. I'm stubborn and going to do it the hard way. Alright, fuel pump test. Pass. Your fuel pump works like it's supposed to. Good. Now we get to the wiring. Alright, so this is just going to be a temporary setup here. Got my fuel pump set up right there. I'm going to put a gas can right there. We'll go ahead and get our wiring done. I already tested the fuel pump, as you guys seen. It works good. So we'll start getting this wiring together. Alright, so originally we were going to do a relay box, but I decided to save that for another project. We're just going to do individual relays. So I decided to put them down underneath there, out of the way. Seems like the best place to mount them for now. Again, later on, if we decide to do more with this, we'll do a little bit fancier system. Right now, I just want to do a test drive with this, so this is how we're going to rate it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pull this toggle. So I just decided to completely strip every little bit of wire out of the cab and basically just rewire the switch, and that's it. And then we'll just start over adding things as we go along. The only two wires remaining were the two starter wires. Everything else was removed. Alright, so I got rid of everything but the ignition. This right here is just for accessory, which we're not going to use. This right here is just an extra ground. And then we got our starter wires coming in. That's it. I got rid of everything. We're just starting all over. So one of the issues I have is for some reason my relays aren't firing. I went through, I checked, I got power, I got ground, the wires are running to the fuel pump and the coil as they're supposed to. I checked my colors, I checked everything. And for some reason, these relays are not firing. So I think for now, I'm just gonna bypass and go straight to the switch. So for now, I'm gonna bypass the relays. We're gonna go straight from the switch to the coil to the fuel pump just to see if we can get it to idle. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire that up and then I'll be right back. So this is a huge undertaking for me. I've never done anything this complex, but you know what? I like to take on a challenge. This was just a piece of yard art, but it did turn over, so we're gonna see if we can make it run. We definitely got power coming in. There we go. The fuel pump does work, but it threw it all over the carburetor. It is just pouring out of there. So we're not gonna be test driving this. We gotta get a carburetor. So yeah, everything's good to go. We just gotta get a carburetor. So yeah, once the fuel pump started going, it just started flowing out of the side of the carburetor. That carburetor's got some kind of broken seal, so we're gonna have to get a carb before we can actually test drive this. But besides that, all our wiring's good to go. I'm gonna check these relays again because I might have had an issue with the plug there that was broken that was making me think the relays weren't working. So I'm gonna re-hook up the relays just to test them out. Then we'll test everything again. And then we'll move on. So I think my connector was bad, and I thought it was the relay. So we're gonna rewire up the relays the correct way. It's a little bit of a mess. For some reason, these cheap Amazon relays are not working. I verified everything was correct a second time, and they're just not firing to the accessory. We got our fuel pump hooked up. It runs good without the relay. Unfortunately, it's still flooding like crazy, so that's going to be next to fix. We got our coil set up to the button. We got rid of all this crap under here, got it all cleaned up to just the ignition switch, which does work. So yeah, we're good there. We just got to get a carburetor now. We got our switch panel here. It all works like it's supposed to. This one's our coil, this one's our fuel pump. This one's going to be headlights, which I'm going to hook up later. Everything's working, fuel pump's working. Take a quick tour here. So yeah, our gray here is our fuel pump. So we got set up there, which is working. Unfortunately, we are still flooding like crazy. Blue is our ground going to our switch. Yellow is our coil going to our switch. I showed you earlier that we just dropped it down to a key inside. But for now, there's nothing I can do till I get that carburetor changed, because it immediately starts flooding out. And to me, it looks like it's coming from somewhere in the center and the back. I don't know a lot about these carburetors, but I do know a rebuild kit's about 60 bucks and a new carburetor is about 80 bucks. So looks like we're going to be taking 80 out of our budget for this one. But after that, it should run. We have everything we need. We have spark, we have fuel, we have air. We're good to go. Oh, one last thing. I got to yank those things off. Don't buy your relays from Amazon. So apparently I got burned this time. I've had them work fine before. Never really had a problem, but I think I just got a bad set. Because I tried swapping them too. All three of them are not working. If you enjoyed this video or if it helped you out, hit that like button. If you want to see the next video in the series where I install the car, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. So what do I think of those?